Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Ranger Roundup live on YouTube.com. It is Michael Fletcher with Anthony Floyo as always, and oh my goodness! All right, Anthony was petrified about Game 5. When it was all said and done, petrified is not even the word I would say. It's more flat out anger and just a shaking of the head after the Ottawa Senators beats the New York Rangers by the final score of 4-3 in 5-4 in overtime yesterday afternoon from the Canada Tire Center in Ottawa. Um, what really baffles me about this series is dominant in almost every game in this series. We've been dominating. And Ottawa just has that never say die attitude. They won't give up because let's be realistic. The New York Rangers was literally about less than 2 minutes away from winning this game. And that's the biggest thing that really ticks me off about this, because this is like game 2 all over again. Before we get into Florio and the whole 9 yards, and I know he's going to have plenty to say about this game, let's dive right in. And here's the reason why. The New York Rangers jumped out 2-0 lead. Jasper Foss at 4:07, assisted by Brandon Smith and Kevin Hayes. That was 1-0 Rangers. Then a minute and 6 seconds later, the Rangers scored again. This time it was Nick Holden, assisted by Jimmy Vesey, 2-0 New York. Now, Ottawa gets a goal back about 50 seconds later. Mark Stone gets the goal. Chris Weidman and Zach Smith gets the assist. So after one period, it was 2-1 New York. Okay, New York was in a good start. Then in the second period, at 8:17, Mike Hoffman scores. Clark MacArthur and Erik Karlsson gets the assist, tying game. Then about 43 seconds later, Ottawa takes the lead. This is where I think Anthony got that petrified moment there. Tom Pratt gets the goal. Zach Smith gets the assist at 8:50, so it's 3-2 Ottawa. The Rangers gets the goal back. Ryan McDonough, the captain, scores. Michael Grabner and Jesper Foss gets the assist at 17:49. So going into the third, it was a tie game. Then, in the third period, Jimmy Vesey scored, assisted by Brady Shea and Derek Stepan at 12:48, 4-3 New York. We are on our way. All we got to do is just sit on the puck. Don't make any mistakes. We got it. At 18:34, because of the fact that the Senators pulled their goalie, that got the extra attacker, Derek Brassard, the former New York Ranger, sticks it to his old team. Clark MacArthur and Erik Karlsson ties the game with about almost a minute and a half left in the game. 4-4, we're going to overtime. Then at 6:28 in overtime, Kyle Turris wins the game for the Senators. Alec Burrows and Erik Karlsson gets the assist on the game. And there was a little bit of some controversy about maybe an offside call, but even Ranger fans acknowledged, no, you know what? Even if there was, we should have finished them. We should have won this game. For me, that's the same way I feel. We should have slammed the door on the Senators. And this is the second time in this series we couldn't get the job done. And that is the most frustrating thing about this series, is that we've dominated Ottawa. We've gone to their house. We've punched them in the mouth, and they just will not give up one bit. They don't give an inch. They don't give up. They keep fighting. They're scrappy. But I'm sorry, Ottawa fans, we're better than you. We are far and away better than you. We are more stronger, more faster. We'll hit you in your mouth, and the Rangers should have wrapped up this series if it wasn't for 2 late goals towards the end, and you sneaking by at overtime. This should be a done series. No questions about it in my mind. Now we got to win 2 games. We got to win on Tuesday night back in New York, and then we got to some way, somehow try to finish you off in Ottawa. And the thing is, I'm not petrified anymore. I'm not concerned because the petrified went out the door when we jumped down on you guys 2-0. I got no doubts in my mind. If the Rangers wins Game 6, we got to figure out a way to win Game 7. But defense, you gotta wake the bleep up because that you cannot hang a Henrik Lundqvist out on a string like you have done in the last 2 games in Ottawa. When it comes to New York, we're unbelievable. When it's Ottawa, I don't know what has been going on with the Rangers. Now, I can blame that Lundqvist has given up 2 good goals. The 2 goals that he gave up, that was definitely his fault. The first 2 that he gave up, those were definitely his fault. But the final 3, that was total collapse of the defense. And I'm calling out some players tonight. JT Miller, where the hell have you been in this series? Because for me, you have not done diddly squat at all. Ryan McDonough, you've been good on offense, but you've been lacking on defense. And you're the captain of this team. For me, wake up, boys. Defensemen, Dan Girardi, all you guys, you better step up or we're going home. Anthony Florio, come on in. Hit us with the rest of the stats because I'm done for tonight.
What about the 3 stars?
All right, I'll do that quick and then you can go. 3 stars of the game. Jimmy Vesey for the New York Rangers, 1 goal and 1 assist. The number 2 star was Derek Brassard, and the number 1 star was Kyle Turris.
No arguments. Let me just first of all say I 110% agree with everything that MF has just laid down here. But before I do something a little unorthodox here, I got to do the usual thing. I'm going to give you my my Barry Melrose here. So that's what I'm going to do right here and now, and then I'll have my say on this. Shots on goal, 37-33 in favor of the Ottawa Senators. Face-off percentage, 57-43 in favor of the Ottawa Senators. Both teams were 0 on the power play. The hits advantage, again, Ottawa Senators win that battle, 41-36. The block advantage, that was all New York Rangers, 27-11. And for once, the Rangers did not lose the giveaway battle, although it wasn't by much. They had 12 giveaways to Ottawa's 14. Senators win first, so I have to show them the love first. Or as our friend Luigi PS3 on YouTube would say, the Lovins. And it pains me to do it, but I have no choice. It was Turris. I mean, Kyle Turris was far and away the best player on the ice for the Ottawa Senators, hands down. The game winning, the overtime winning goal, but on top of that, he also had 9 hits in the game. He was the aggressor in this one. And he also had a face-off percentage of 65. Well done. Who else do I have to show love to? Bobby Ryan, 3 hits and a takeaway. Great game for him. Clark MacArthur, 2 assists and 3 hits. I thought he had a solid game as well. Stallberg played well, 3 hits. Pajot with a couple hits and a blocks, 2 hits and 2 blocks and a takeaway on his end. Mathot played well, 4 hits. Phaneuf, 3 hits and a block. Clayson with 4 hits. And Carlson, with 2 hits and 2 blocks and 2 takeaways. So a very good game for Erik Karlsson. Brassard with the tying goal, a hit and a block. I knew at some point he was going to stick it to us. And Tom Pyatt played well with a goal, 2 hits, 100% on face-off draws. Brassard also had 50% of the face-off draws. Pajot, 59%. Zach Smith, 29%. Torres, 65%, like I said. And Craig Anderson, 29 saves on 33 shots. Yeah, so I'm going to be real honest with you, MF. This game went exactly the way I knew it was going to go. I'm sorry. I actually had Ottawa winning this game for some odd reason. I think the Rangers lit a spark under them with all those sucker punches late in game 4, and that's why I was petrified. I was worried going into this game, and I'm like, going into this game, there is no chance in hell we're going to win this game. Ottawa is back home in front of those wild, rabid, caged animal Canucks that are, you know, those Canadian hockey fans, and that's exactly what they are. If I ruffle some feathers, I don't give a damn. But you knew that Ottawa was going to come to play in Game 5, and boy, howdy, did they do that. And I also had this game went exactly like I said it would. I said Ottawa was going to win, and I said Ottawa was going to win in overtime. That's what I said to myself. And of all the times I had to be right, and all the times I had to get this broken Matt Hardy premonition, I had to be right about it. Why couldn't I be wrong, for goodness sakes? One time I wish I was insane in the head, but, you know, it is what it is. But, well, even though the Rangers let us down, Henrik Lundqvist, though, continuing to stand on his head, 32 saves on 37 shots. But there were some Rangers who played very well yesterday, even in this losing effort. I'll be sure to leave JT Miller out because I know MF will rip me if I show him any lovin's. He had a couple of hits and a block, and he was 100% on faceoff draws. So you got to give him that. Tanner Glass, our enforcer, I call him the Tommaso Ciampa of our team because he looks like Tommaso Ciampa with hair. You know, Tommaso Ciampa, one half of Team DIY in NXT. 4 hits and 2 blocks. I thought he had a solid game, as did Derek Stepan with an assist, 4 hits and a block. Oscar Lindberg was our enforcer yesterday with 7 hits. And Zibanejad with 3 blocks and a hit. Danny Girardi, I'd be remiss if I left him out. 5 blocks yesterday with a hit. Mark Stahl, 3 hits, 2 blocks. Nicky Holden with the goal that got us going. 2 hits and 2 blocks. Now, I know you hated McDonough's efforts yesterday, MF, but he had a solid game on the stat line. He had a goal. He had 4 blocks. He had a hit. Brady Shea with a couple hits and a block. Grabner played well, a couple blocks, a hit, a takeaway, and an assist. And Kevin Hayes, a couple blocks and a hit, had an assist on the night. Jimmy Vesey, a goal and an assist, a hit and a block and a takeaway. Let me tell you something about Jimmy Vesey. Did you see that goal he scored? That goal that put the Rangers up 4-3. Initially, I thought Anderson made the save, but upon further review, the puck actually snuck over the goal line just before Anderson made the save. So that was a good goal. That made it 4-3. And I'm like, okay, we got a shot at this thing. But then when Ottawa pulled Anderson and got that extra attacker, I'm like, oh, God, they're going to tie this thing up. I just know they're going to tie this thing up. I'm getting a premonition. They're going to tie this thing. Damn it to hell, I was right. Ugh. Why did I have to be right about that? These damn premonitions. I have to keep getting these premonitions in my head. And unfortunately, they're all coming true. So they tied it, and then they won it in overtime, which I'm not at all surprised. That game turned out the exact way I said to myself that it was going to turn out. Ottawa was going to win, and they were going to win in overtime. I'm not at all surprised. So now it's onward to Game 6 in Madison Square Garden. It's not often I do what I'm about to do, but I think it's necessary in this case. I think it's beyond necessary. Look into my eyes right now. Do I look happy right now? I'm not. Let me tell you something. 3 years ago, in 2014, what did the New York Rangers do against the Pittsburgh Penguins? Anyone? They came back from 3-1 down, won the series, then they beat Montreal, and then they went to the Stanley Cup Finals. 2 years ago, 3-1 down, this time against the Washington Capitals. What did they do? They came back and won the series. Do you sense a pattern here? I want you all to look into my eyes right here and right now. This team is going to come back, and this team is going to win this series. And it's going to start with Tuesday night, Game 6 in Madison Square Garden. I'm going to be Mark Messier. I guarantee we are going to win Game 6 on Tuesday night. Take that money to the bank, baby. And I'm going to send a message to you Ottawa Senators right here and right now. You better finish us Tuesday night in the Garden. You better finish us. Because if you don't, boy, howdy, we got your ass in Game 7. We're due a road win. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if the New York Rangers win Game 6, which I guarantee they're going to, there is no doubt in my mind whatsoever that they're going to go into Ottawa in front of those rabid, crazy Canucks on Thursday, and I guarantee they will win Game 7, and then they're going to go to the Eastern Conference Finals against either the Pittsburgh Penguins or the Washington Capitals, and they're going to make believers out of all of us. In 2015, we had a war cry around the Ranger Roundup, and we're going to break that out right here and right now. Look into my eyes one more time. We can and we will believe that. Period. End of quotation. End of statement. MF, wrap it up.
He said it. Tuesday night will be a very crucial moment. New York, we're going home. And remember, in elimination games, we're 8-2. Henrik Lundqvist has, I believe, a 1.50 goal against average. The last time we were in a situation where our backs were up against the wall, well, actually not up against the wall, but the last time we were battling for an opportunity to either close out or stay alive, New York won. You want to doubt us? Do it. We love to be the underdogs. Because I know a lot of people are thinking this series is over now. They're thinking New York is probably goners now. Well, no. We've been here before. We've been in this hole before. We know this hole. And some way, somehow, we've dug ourselves out. So, like I said, our defense just got to get better. Basically, we got to do. We're gonna do what we did in Game 3 and Game 4. I got no doubts in my mind we're gonna destroy them.
Amen.
It's just Game 7 because I believe we will have a Game 7, just like Anthony does, just like every Ranger fan believes there will be a Game 7. We're going back to Ottawa, guys. You better not pack up those things because we're gonna have one more trip to go, and that's to Ottawa. Because we're going back there. Get your passports ready because we're going back up to the Great White North. I guarantee that shit.
Man.
But one thing's for sure. We just got to play better. Defensively, that's all we need. Defensemen, you got to step up. But you can't hang Lundqvist out on like you did on Saturday. That is not going to get the job done. You're asking for trouble. But once we do it, dictate the pace, get aggressive, show that fight, show that heart, because you have it. And that's the thing that's not angering me. What's angering me is that we let the game get away at the end. And that's the biggest mistake we've done. It's not that we've screwed ourselves over anything else, because no, it's not that. What's really killed us is, for some reason, when the moments get tough, it's like we lay back. It's like we relax. Like, oh God, all right, we got it. It's in the bag. No, you gotta play 60 minutes. We're not taking no time off after 58 minutes. No, it's a 60-minute game. So from the puck drop to the final horn, play your asses off, New York. That's all I'm going to say. We'll see you guys on Tuesday night for another edition of the Ranger Roundup. Tomorrow night is Ridiculously Raw. Unfortunately, I will not be able to be on the show due to work commitments beyond my control. So, Anthony, good luck with Didi and with Mike Bullock. I'll see you guys on Tuesday night. Ranger Roundup and the Bulls and SmackDown and the recap of SmackDown Live. Another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk, this time at 10 p.m. Eastern. So we're going to do SmackDown Live first, then we'll do the Ranger Roundup. Until then, so long for now. Have a good night, and bye-bye.